So I'm going to be looking kind of back, and for one thing, I'm going to say I'm sorry for part two cutting off. I kind of rambled a lot in that video and didn't realize it was taking up 10 minutes time. But I am going to finish with part three of Halloween now. Um, so, like I was saying, I think a lot of the critics got it right, and a lot of them did not in regards to the themes and the generally what was intended behind the film. Um, you know, it's really interesting too, kind of how Michael Myers' character is portrayed. Basically, it's kind of left up in the air how he came to murder his um, then older teenage sister when he was 6 years old in 1963. Um, but basically, some people have suggested that he was jealous that his sister was spending more time fucking popular guys than giving him much attention. Um, which I can kind of see that in a way. But he really went off the deep end to basically not talk to anybody really again after that and just be so focused and set on the event that took place 15 years later on Halloween, where he terrorized Haddonfield. Um, no, this movie is not a perfect movie. There are some things that I found issue with. In particular, I found some of Jamie Lee Curtis' character, Laurie Strode's reactions to like her whimpering or moaning a bit cheesy. Uh, Fun fact: she did have like a moan meter, uh, where Carpenter said, "Act really afraid, like a 6 this time, or like more like a 10 this time, or whatever, depending on the scene." And his direction for Michael Myers' character or actor that played him was really simple too. So I think it's the simplicity too that really drives the film. I mean, this movie basically could be made into like a 15-minute mini episode or something. But the fact that it's more slow paced, you're not seeing a bunch of people getting killed constantly. It's not really that many people that are killed on Halloween night, and it's the suspense, it's the build up, it's the music, the lighting, all of that really adds to the film. It makes it more than just your average run of the mill mainstream horror film success. Um, Another thing too, I think, is kind of I hadn't seen anybody else say this, but like contrasting, you know, Michael Myers at 6 years old. Most of the time, when you think about people that go kill teenage girls, think about serial killers, think about pedophiles, rapists. Um, but here, Carpenter presents this obviously flawed, of course, 6-year-old brother of Judith that basically is just out for revenge and sexually. It's interesting his if there's any sexual motive to Michael Myers' attacks. Uh, One notable scene is where he kills a boyfriend of one of his victims and comes upstairs wrapped in like a corny Halloween sheet. And so the girlfriend is in bed and thinks it's her boyfriend who went to the kitchen to get something like a beer or something. and thinks he's playing some corny trick. So she proceeds to tease him and flashes her nipples and whatnot, and he doesn't really react. So he doesn't. He seems to be have like a mindset of a little child throughout the film, and not like a grown man, which he turns out to be. It's like he's stuck in a 6-year-old mindset, but he has great planning skills. Apparently, he can drive a car. He can study his victims and see how they're, or like the one guy that was impaled in the kitchen, basically. Um, so it's interesting. There's really no morality to him, of course, um, but yeah. So I think this is probably one of most people's number one or two horror movies of all time. Uh, Certainly more modern ones, and I agree. I would definitely rank this film in my probably top 150 movies all time. It was extremely influential. Uh, really remembered for the shots and the foreground images and the pace of the film. And yeah, I would rank it 4 stars. Definitely a classic to watch any Halloween. And I'm sure I'm leaving something out, but I've already done 3 videos on Halloween, and I need to get on to A Nightmare on Elm Street, and that'll be coming up right now. I'll see you guys then.